pale
Right.
reflections of the light of the two
So that was not a
trees,
great
memories of a lost kingdom.
first approach there. So we'll try and go a little bit more carefully next time, I reckon. Need to remember that right trigger, the stealth button, that will probably be important.
Used for sneaking up on orcs and also kissing one's wife.
Yeah.
Stealth mode.
We've also got a side quest there.
So, in addition to this, like we're talking a little bit about the research that was done for us kind of gearing up to play this game again, viewership. So, I went and read the first volume of the History of the Lord of the Rings, which was fun. We also, the Doctor and myself, watched the 1978 animated version of The Fellowship of the Ring, which I had never seen before, and which was an experience.
See, I grew up with that, because that they re-released that on VHS when the Jackson films were incoming. So I got it. It was actually my first experience, other than the books, of the story of Lord of the Rings. And it's interesting. Okay, interesting isn't the right word. In some ways, it's like it's more like the books than Jackson's stuff. It's a bit closer to the books, but obviously that comes with problems as well.
Yeah, it does. One thing we will say, like, it's very difficult to track down now. Like, it's not on any streaming service that we're aware of.
They never even
had a
released it on DVD.
release. Yeah, my suspicion is that somebody in Peter Jackson's organization has tried really, really hard to bury this at some point, which is a little sad, because it's a limited movie. It's a movie made with very clear technological and financial limitations.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
not huge.
they
But I
obviously
think
loved
we
the
were both
source
very
material.
surprised by how high budget it actually was, and how much money it made. Like, it was successful, but it had like a big budget. It was not like a little weird, trippy side project. It was a lot of effort went into it. Clearly.
Yeah, it's one of the things I find most endearing about the movie, to be honest, is that clearly this was made by people who gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, this was obviously made by fans of Tolkien, that like, they wanted to do the source material justice. It was just that they didn't have the equipment, the resources available to make it what they wanted it to be.
Yeah. And animation probably just didn't quite do it justice, but also the tech was not there to make live action work either, frankly. So
yeah, there's a lot of great stories about it though. So like, there's a fantastic story because they shot some of the live action elements because it's a blended like live action.
Yeah, the
and animated
rotoscoping
film.
is fucking weird. Where they've shot live action and then animated over it after.
It's trippy and disturbing. Some of it is just like fever dream level horrifying.
I mean, yeah, it was the height of the 80s. That must be remembered when interpreting anything about that film.
It wasn't even the 80s. I think it was 78. Yeah, 1978. It was shortly after Tolkien's death, I think.
Still
or not
trippy,
that
though.
long after his death. Oh, yeah. But there's a really good story that you unearthed where they got live action actors in Spain. They shot some of the outdoor stuff in Spain. And some of these actors were so horrified when they saw test footage that they thought if this footage got out, no one would ever want to make movies in Spain again. So on the set of the movie, like the actors playing the orcs, these extras tried to burn the footage on the set. And some of it was actually damaged. I think we discovered that.
Yeah, because I think they didn't realise that it was going to be animated over, and obviously if you're planning to animate over footage, you don't put a lot of effort into... You don't put more effort than you strictly need to into, costumes or sets or stuff like that. And so they were like, this looks like ass.
I guess for a lot of people, though, this would be the definitive version of Lord of the Rings
For
prior
years,
to the Jackson
for
trilogy.
30 years, it was certainly the biggest attempt at doing it, though it was never finished, really. The first film goes as far as just about the end of The Two Towers, and there was never in any other films, other than the weird musical one that was a bit later. The Ralph Beck.
Is that an orc peeing?
He's not anymore, if he was.
But can they do that? Orcs have
Complete
genitals?
side missions to earn Miria and earn enough and you'll be able to purchase a devastatingly powerful ability for your dagger. The Shadow of Achan will allow you to disappear for a while, enabling limited stealth kills. That sounds quite cool. I have enough Mithron to purchase an upgrade. Oh, there's a whole nother tech tree! There we go.
Oh, wow.
That was
We're
Ranger
gonna be in this a
abilities.
while,
This is
aren't
weapon
we?
abilities. Right, what have we got? Max health up. That sounds like it'd be important. Elf shot. Focus. A rune slot. Interesting. Rune slot on my bow. I guess that's like a upgrade thing. Let's go for health. I think that'll be the most handy in the short term.
I mean, given that like we don't have any runes and we can't stop dying,
Yeah. Right.
it doesn't bode well for our future in this game that Talion has already died twice and we've been playing for all of 10
Oh no,
minutes.
yeah. Once was the Force dying at the beginning. Yes, you're right.
I mean, all dying is forced dying, Doctor. No one, well, rarely do people
No,
want
but I mean,
to die.
right? I, the player, have only died the once.
That's true.
Talion has died
Yeah.
more than that. Yeah, you can tell whenever it goes into a pre-rendered cutscene because our outfit changes.
Well, this doesn't bode well. Don't you see? The prisoner created a distraction.
That's kind of grim.
I'm not a huge fan of Celebrimbor thus far.
Oh, he's a bit of a dick, yeah.
I see more than any mortal.
In fairness, he's an immortal who also can't die, so... Ooh, Wraith World. Spooky.
Ah, so this is detective vision from from the Batman Arkham games.
Cut off the head of the snake, and the body will wither. Archers.
Anyway, I think I'm more sympathetic to the animated 1978 Lord of the Rings movie than you are.
I think you're also more sympathetic than you expected to be.
Oh yeah, there's bits of it that I genuinely really enjoyed. Like there's elements of the film that I thought were just fun. Like I could see what they were doing. Some of the animation is very intricate, and they obviously tried for some of it before the budget ran out. Also, this was the thing I maybe enjoyed the most. John Hurt as the voice of Aragorn.
Yeah.
That was a thing I didn't know I needed to see, but I'm really glad I got to.
Yeah, I think its major weakness is just how much it loses steam. The beginning of it's pretty good, but it goes downhill pretty fast.
Yeah, it really is a shame because obviously this was made by talented people who respected the source material and they didn't get to make the movie they wanted to make.
Yeah.
If you can possibly find a viewership, I would sincerely recommend it. If you like Lord of the Rings, if you're enjoying this content, you'll almost definitely like this movie. If you can track it down legally or otherwise, we absolutely encourage you to give it a go.
Yeah. But as I say, not an easy task.
No, definitely not. There was a weird feud as well between the guy who made this animated movie. I think his name is Ralph or Ray Bakshi.
Yes. Ralph
And
Bakshi.
there's a weird feud between him and Jackson, like Peter Jackson of the more
the
popular-
real Lord of the Rings films.
I don't want to call it the real Lord of the Rings. That diminishes the work of the people who worked on the animated movie. But like what most of us think of as the definitive film version of Lord of the Rings. But there was a weird feud between him. So in the press, he went after Jackson, claiming that Jackson hadn't acknowledged his work, and that it was only after he'd started attacking Jackson in the press that Peter Jackson had contacted him and had acknowledged the influence of his earlier animated movie on the Jackson trilogy. And this is categorically untrue. So there's a bunch of really early interviews with Peter Jackson where he says, "Oh yeah, I really like that movie. It's made with limitations, but I quite like it." In fact, in one interview, Jackson credits the fact that he read Lord of the Rings in the first place because of Bakshi's film.
I mean, you found this out later, but you also noted it when we were watching it. You're like, a lot of the shots in Jackson's film consciously mirror ones from the animation.
Oh yeah, it's eerie actually that you're basically watching for the first at least 20 minutes. It feels like an animated version of the Peter Jackson.
Yeah,
movie.
like a lot of the
almost shot for
a
shot.
lot of the Shire stuff and the get off the road quick scene are very similar, and that was Jackson's intentional choice.
Yeah, there's a few scenes that he said in particular that, oh yeah, this was directly a homage to the 1978 Ralph Bakshi film. And he acknowledges, not only in interviews, but on the director's commentary for The Lord of the Rings, he's like, oh yeah, this was a huge influence for me. So, I don't know if Bakshi ever apologized to him. Oh, we killed that guy already, look at that!
I was trying to be stealthy and then I started a fight and everyone fucking joined, so...
Collect hair.
There we go, we
to
can
restore
Athlas
health.
ourselves. Ooh, Fell Voices, that's a rune. You can equip rune slots into your weapons. There we go. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of options.
Oh, this is so complicated.
God, I need to lay off the bevs if I'm going to actually be there. Right, one with nature, immune to poison. Recover all focus and health for killing the war chief. Stealth kill to deal extra damage. Brutalize stealth kills to cause additional terror. Good lord, that sounds cool.
We could use terror tactics.
Apparently, yeah. Increase the morale effect on enemies when they witness a captain die. Dude.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I reckon. Yep. And got runes available for the bow. Oh, that sounds good. Yes, I'll have that. Oh, I've got a sword as well. Oh yeah, dagger's different to sword. That's like my hidden blades. But not hidden blades, because that's an Assassin's Creed thing, but also that.
Maybe it was made for the same studio, I'm not sure.
It wasn't, because those are Ubisoft, whereas this is... I don't know who this even is, it's not someone huge. Never surrender... Flame of Arnor.
This is complicated,
Yeah.
Bishop. So like this is going to be the Doctor and I's usual style. We're going to run through the game, paying as much attention as we need to in order for the Doctor to progress.
Well, apparently we're
give us more
2.2% of the way
things to
through
talk
the game, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Buckle up, Bishop. It's going to be a long
But
night.
yeah, it might be a lot edited potentially. Elven swiftness. Detonate.
Yeah, but certainly as we go, we'll try to provide our usual Lord of the Rings chat. We've done a lot of research. We've rewatched Fellowship as well in the build-up to this. The Doctor's revisited the Silmarillion, just as I've re-gone and read.
Yeah, and I looked a bit more into kind of some of the stuff around this era, which Tolkien's pretty vague on, as in between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. He kind of glosses over it in the appendices.
This is the time, though, between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. There is a lot going on that's directly relevant to
Well, it's essentially
the plot of Fellowship.
It's Sauron's rise to power, and people like Gandalf saying, we need to look into this a bit more, and everyone else saying, nah, Sauron's dead, isn't he? We killed him at the Battle of the Last Alliance.
But this must be like around the same period where Aragorn and Gandalf are tracking Gollum across Middle-earth to get answers from him.
It's slightly before that.
More like ran away from him.
Is it?
You'll see soon, because at this point, Gollum...
So some of these characters are going to appear, are they?
At this point, Gollum has just escaped or been let loose from Barad-dûr.
Perhaps.
Hence, he's skulking around northern Mordor, where we currently are.
Been stuck here.
Now, there was an idea in one of Tolkien's drafts for Fellowship of the Ring where Gollum goes directly to Sauron and Sauron gives him an opposing ring.
Wild.
So like there's a
the dark,
Gollum
there
was
he
going
is.
to be
There's
wandering
the gangly
around.
little
Oh
bastard.
shit, he's here already. Please tell me it's Andy Serkis.
It's not Andy Serkis. Or am I? Is it?
Ah,
I don't think it is.
No. Someone who wants to be seen. We should tread with caution.
I have no idea what triggered this, but about 27 minutes ago, the sprite texted me saying, "What the fuck!" exclamation mark. So we must have said something. Can't remember what it was. There we go.
Best perhaps not to think of
Yeah.
it too much.
Oh my god. Oh no, we've already told me about rooms. That's fine. But yeah, there's actually a
Yeah.
Gollum game upcoming where you play as Gollum.
I saw that actually. Like I'm not sure how would that even work.
It's kind of been in development for a while, and occasionally we see something of it. And I always have the same moment of like, "Oh shit, that game still exists. That's still apparently actually happening."
Yeah, there was like I'm going to reference this frequently over this recording session viewership, but I recently, just today, sat and watched a 40-minute interview with Tolkien and the BBC from like 1964, and like in it they ask him directly. So most of your characters are like either completely good or completely bad. They're either pure evil or they are all virtuous, all righteous, always do the correct thing, Boy Scouts. And like the only character who's not really is Gollum, with the possible exception of like Boromir and Denethor.
Yeah.
But they ask him about like how he feels about Gollum, and Tolkien says in the interview that he found it very difficult to kill Gollum off. In fact, at one point he contemplated that rather than kill off Gollum because he didn't have the heart to do it, he seriously contemplated allowing the quest to fail.
Wow.
But like Frodo gets to Mount Doom and the quest just fails. Gollum does what he does, and the ring is not destroyed. Gollum takes it back.
I'm always interested by that as a concept because there's certainly a lot of bits of media that play around with the idea of the heroes may fail in their quest, and they certainly make you think that that's an option as it goes along. But I'm not super aware of any media that actually commits to that.
Yeah, I mean, unless we talk about like post-apocalyptic stuff, for example, where we assume that some heroes at some point in the past did fail to halt the end of the world, but we don't see that.
Yeah, or you
right?
get stuff like, the Hunger Games, where the end thing is kind of like, oh, the cycle basically just continues.
Yeah, welcome to dystopian fiction,
Exactly,
kids.
yeah, as you say, post-apocalyptic.
But yeah, like it's very interesting to me that Tolkien himself had such an affection for this repugnant character that he considered like altering the entire course of his saga just to spare him.
Yeah. And certainly, I mean, the books and the films all make it kind of clear that, while he is in the form of a villain, Gollum is a bit of a tragic character.
Oh, definitely. Like, he's one of the few psychologically complex characters in Lord of the Rings, really. Like, most of them are just...
I think you can drop psychologically. It's
Heroes-
almost one of the only complex characters in it.
I'm not sure that that's necessarily true. We've spoken a lot about how Boromir is a tragic character. He
Yes.
is a psychologically conflicted character, and whilst lots of members of like the Fellowship are tempted in various ways, I don't get the feeling that they're psychologically complex in the way that Boromir and Gollum are.
Yeah. Right.
But like, this was like from some of Tolkien's really early drafts that I've learned from Lord of the Rings, where he wanted Gollum. In fact, elf shot needed. What the fuck's an elf shot?
Well, we fucked up here, I'll be honest.
Should we retreat until they're unaware of our presence, Doctor? Or are we just going to
Yeah,
fight
no, I think you're right. So, to fill you in on the logic, I came here because this is where the guy who shot and killed us earlier is based, and I was like, right, I need to fucking
we
chop
can't
him
have
down
run
before he
around.
becomes a problem, but I think...
Yeah, we can't have him just running around thinking
exactly.
he's killed us.
Well, we'll do what the game wants us to do for now, and we'll go for Ratbag the Coward.
He looks, so Ratbag the Coward sounds a lot easier to bring down than Narka the Skullbow.
In fairness, until he killed us, he was just called Narka.
Okay, but now he's Narka Skullbow.
Yeah, because he shot us with a bow.
That is one thing that we both agreed we hated about the Bakshi, the Ralph Bakshi 1978 animated Lord of the Rings film, is that Sam Gamgee is so detestably
Oh, he's a
awful.
deeply dislikable character when he should be, the strongest member of the Fellowship, even including,
Yeah.
Aragorn and fucking Gandalf.
He's one of the hobbits that he springs fully formed into being in one the fifth draft of the Fellowship of the Ring. So there's no notes on him, there's no evidence to suggest that Tolkien thought about him until he just appears in the narrative, fully formed.
Interesting.
Yeah, whereas virtually all the other hobbits, including Frodo, but particularly Pippin, go through multiple different names and families,
actual drafts
and backgrounds. Yeah. Exactly, but Sam Gamgee just explodes into the narrative and is virtually unchanged.
Huh. So in case anyone's wondering as well, I'm following a bit of advice that I found while kind of looking into this game a bit, which was don't waste a lot of your time and effort in killing orcs that are just wandering around the overworld. They basically just said 99 times out of 100, if orcs engage in the overworld, just run and they'll give up eventually.
I mean, it's sort of cool that we're getting the usual kind of open world fantasy stuff, right? But there doesn't seem to be really any NPCs for us to interact with outside of the orcs and their slaves.
Yeah, I think we get there. We're still very much in tutorial territory, and we're almost to the point where I've got in this game.
So are we on the Gondorian side of the Black
No,
Gates?
this is Mordor.
Wait, this is in Mordor.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
interesting.
this. Hold on, can I zoom out any more? Jesus. Okay, it won't let me zoom out anymore. But yeah, this is the Black Gate here. So we are.
Oh.
This is the plateau of Gorgoroth here.
Can we go to the Mountain of Fire?
We can see it somewhere over there. If there wasn't a fucking mountain in the way, it's over there.
Oh, cool. That's
I
another
have no
thing
idea
that
whether we
keeps
can go
it-
there or not. I actually don't know because I say we're approaching the limits of my knowledge of this game. Let's slit this guy. Slit. Oh wow! Right through the ear hole. Nice.
Ooh. I mean, Talion's hella strong. That much is apparent.
Well, yeah, certainly once he seems to be better in a stealth situation.